Hi, I'm Melanie Brown. Welcome to Finding the Word. And today's word is box. And this is because I just feel like I'm boxy. Like I sit in the box a lot on stuff. And I'm starting to really discover that and will hopefully help me going forward. I'm sure it will. I just see that there's times, like I notice that as I'm working on Point Smart, my behavior reward program for kids, that there's things I'm working on going forward in, or different areas where I'm trying to get products created or see how to work through something. And I'll put it to the side if I can't get it done. If it takes too long, I'm learning not to just keep sitting there getting frustrated. Maybe I have to put it to the side for a second and come back to it, and that's fine. But what I realized is by the time I figure it out, I was just in a box about it. And when I say in a box, I'm meaning that I'm closed in with the thoughts that I'm having toward how to do something or accomplish it. And there's times when things are very specific. I know there's times when that how you have to do something is how you have to do it. Certain parts I know aren't really negotiated, especially when the Spirit just tells you do this or do that. But there's other times when you have the thought, you have the idea, you know what you're supposed to do, but then for me, I will completely like zero in on this is how it's going to be. This is how it's got to be done. And in that way, I stay within this box that's closed off. I'm not open to how to accomplish it in another way. So once it comes to me and I'm seeing where, what? Oh my God, this was so much simpler than I thought. Once I come out of that box of thinking, we can be closed off to seeing things in a way that it may need to be seen in order to progress or to move forward. So the scripture for box is the story of the woman with the alabaster box. And the story is told actually in three of the books of the Bible. It's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. They give an account. Luke's is really detailed. It even has additional stories that Christ was saying about it, and just a lot more comments. Mark is the passage that I've selected, Mark 14, but Matthew 26, Luke 7. It's good to go and read all of the accounts of the story. It's very interesting to hear the different particulars about it. But in Mark 14, verse 3, and I'm going to read verses 1 through 9. After 2 days, it was the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by trickery and put him to death. But they said, not during the feast, lest there be an uproar of the people. And being in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came having an alabaster box of very costly oil of spikenard. Then she broke the flask and poured it on his head. But there were some who were indignant among themselves and said, why was this fragrant oil wasted? For it might have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor. And they criticized her sharply. But Jesus said, let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. For you have the poor with you always, and whenever you wish, you may do them good. But me you do not have always. She has done what she could. She has come beforehand to anoint my body for burial. Assuredly, I say to you, wherever this gospel is preached in the whole world, what this woman has done will also be told as a memorial to her. And that indeed is true. It's a story it's always told. And CeCe Winans has a song. If you have not heard it, Alabaster Box is one of her most amazing. She has gazillion amazing songs. I love her. But that one is always one that stands out. And it is a memorial to her. But you know what I thought was cool? This is Passover week, which is coming to an end coming up this weekend. And it was also included in the scripture without me knowing that it was going to be. And I thought about the fact that it was Easter Sunday, and I was like, that wasn't the word that I had. But then when I looked up and realized that Passover was included in the box, which was the word that I had, I thought that was amazing because it's in there. Anyways, even though I did not pick it, it was a part of it without me even realizing it was going to be a part of the word. And I love that. I'm realizing that I have to keep working to be more open up to the way to accomplish things, to get things done, and come out of the box in all kinds of ways. And I think even in sometimes the way we view scriptures, the Spirit will open our minds and we realize that I have done that in scriptures too, where I've been closed in the thoughts that I've had about it, or maybe in only one way, and realize that there's a lot of different ways that coming out of the box and the thoughts will give you. Even here, I've heard this, the story lots of times, and always hearing people say, you have the poor with you always, or you always have the poor with you. And just kind of that verse I've heard, I won't say people lift it out, but I've definitely heard it just used in different ways when discussing the poor. But really, I mean, I'm seeing this a bit differently. Coming out of the box on that, I see, for you have the poor with you always, and whenever you wish you may do them good. Meaning, so the poor are always there, and you always, anytime you can, are in the position to be able to help them. Christ was not always going to be there with them. So Passover week, we celebrate the resurrection of Christ. Then also, of course, be open and not as boxed off in our thoughts, and not be closed off to the revelations that we can receive and that God can give us, and in the ways that we can accomplish things that we're working on. Don't forget to find the word. I will see you tomorrow.